What's up, guys? This is Ray and welcome to Asian Filmist, and I'm here with this month's Patreon-sponsored movie review. And today we'll be discussing the 2018 film Million Dollar Man, directed by Ohtomo Keishi and starring Satoh, Takeru, and Takahashi Issey. So Million Dollar Man is based on a novel written by Kawamura Genki, who also wrote the novel of If Cats Disappeared from This World, which was also adapted in the movie and starring Satoh Takeru. And he was also the director of many memorable films such as Your Name, Confessions, and Rage. And of course, if you didn't know about the director Ohtomo Keishi, he also directed the Rurouni Kenshin movies, which also starred Satoh Takeru, and also Fujiwara Tatsuya, who happens to be in this movie as well. So the story of Million Dollar Man, it stars, well, the lead is played by Satoh Takeru. He plays this guy named Kazuo, and he's in debt. He inherits a mountain of debt from a relative who's gone missing. And this debt essentially forces him to work two jobs, one in the morning and one at night. And this also causes his wife and daughter to leave him and kind of live in a separate house. They're still married, they're still a family by all legalities, but they live in two different situations. So as unlucky as Kazuo is in life, one day he strikes gold. He becomes lucky that he wins the lottery and wins 300 million yen, which is equivalent roughly to about $3 billion. But he wins 300 million yen in cash. So he thinks that this money will save his life, get his life back together, allow his wife and daughter to move back in with him. But upon reading more information provided to him by the lottery company, lottery group, he learns that many people who win the lottery end up becoming kind of miserable afterwards, like later on in their life, and in kind of fear that he also will become miserable, that he might use the money in the worst way possible. He finds and consults with his friend Tsukumo. Tsukumo was Kazuo's best friend during their time in university, and Tsukumo is pretty well off. He's built up a very successful company. He has a mountain of wealth, and so Kazuo thinks he's a perfect man to go to. So he asks Tsukumo for advice, and so in doing so, he gives Tsukumo the cash for safekeeping so that Kazuo won't touch it and spend the money wrongly. But after one night of partying at Tsukumo's pad, Kazuo wakes up the next morning to find not only the cash missing, but also Tsukumo. They've gone off somewhere, and Kazuo doesn't know where. So what does Kazuo do? He tracks down Tsukumo's former colleagues of his company in order to find out more information as to where he may be. So it's a pretty long explanation for the story. Forgive me for that. But let's dive into the positives. Well, first of all, the performances. The performances were amazing. I mean, I think it's a given considering the cast they have. I mean, you had Satoh Takeru and Takahashi Issey leading the cast, and the chemistry they have with each other is fun. It's amazing, and I think when you see them together, it's believable that they were best friends during the university. And the way the characters bounce off of each other, they're just so fun and so charismatic to watch. But it's not only those two who deserve mention. I mean, Fujiwara Tatsuya, who I personally think doesn't have much range in acting, but he's actually quite entertaining in this movie. For the most part, Fujiwara, in nearly all his roles, has his raspy voice, and he kind of plays the same kind of serious or depressed character for a lot. I mean, just look at Death Note, look at his character in Rurouni Kenshin. But here, he's very entertaining. He plays like this public speaker who tries to encourage people to forget about the value of money, like their debt, and just follow the dreams. Just forget about money and just follow the dreams instead, because your dreams don't have a dollar value to it, or in this case, a yen value. But also, Kitamura Kazuki is in this movie. I mean, for the most part, I think Kitamura plays either the cool, badass character or a villainous character, or a character who starts off good, but he's going to become a villain later. He has those kinds of naturally evil eyebrows, but they dress him up in like a fake beard. They put him in a fat suit. They have him kind of talk like this, kind of talk really fast, kind of talk like this in a Kansai dialect. I mean, he was probably, for me, the most entertaining character in this movie. He was just, I didn't recognize him at first. It took me a while, like, wait a minute, is that Kitamura? And once you realize that, you see the kind of performance he pulls out, It's delightful. It is so funny. So, and those two, and also Sawajiri Erika, is, they portray all of Tsukumo's former colleagues at his company, which is kind of like this Mercari-esque buy and sell used items kind of website app. And they all kind of play pseudo mentors to Kazuo in teaching him about money, basically, because that's what the story is about. That's another positive, is the theme that the story tackles is, what exactly is money? I mean, what is money? What is the value of money? Is what's important to you, does that have a value in money as well? And also, can everything that's important to you be bought with money? And so this helps Kazuo in this journey. At first he's so hung up on money that he forgets the value of other things in his life. And that's the journey that this story takes him through. I also enjoyed the music and the soundtrack. I mean, the main theme song, which you can hear in the trailer, was contributed by Bump of Chicken, which is a J-rock band that's been in the business for a while. Definitely enjoyed their music. And all the scenes and cinematography were all the scenes were beautifully shot, especially the scenes that were shot in Morocco. They actually did legit shots in Morocco on location, and every single shot was beautiful. I even think they might have got some local people to portray some of these characters they encounter in Morocco, and that's pretty cool. But as far as the negatives are concerned, I feel that some shots were a little bit drawn out too long. I mean, they were beautiful to look at, but some of them ran a little bit longer than what I would have liked. And on top of that, I mentioned earlier that I enjoyed the message that this movie tries to tackle, this theme that movie tries to tell. However, I felt at times the story felt too much like a self-help book, if you will, and that it was trying to really shove this theme, this idea down the viewers' throats. Although I gotta say, in the context of this movie, I think that might be a positive to some people, but for me, I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the theme. I enjoyed the messages. But, it felt kind of aggressive at times. I mean, those are the only negatives I had to say. But overall, what did I have to say about $1 Million Man? I absolutely loved it. I'd say out of all the movies I've seen so far this year, this is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, I think Ohtomo is an excellent director. He's had a few misses under his belt, but he has more hits than misses. And this is definitely one of those hits. And it has a very touching message. I think although a bit aggressive at a lot of times, it definitely has a lot of meaning, and I think it'll definitely connect with a lot of viewers and definitely hit home. But I gotta say, so the main strength of $1 Million Man isn't its message, isn't its themes. It's the friendship between Kazuo and Tsukumo, and the way it was portrayed. At first, when you first meet Tsukumo, you see him disappear, you're wondering, this guy, he's a con artist. He's just conning poor old Kazuo, because you really feel for Kazuo and his struggles. He's a very sympathetic character. So when you see Tsukumo run off with his money, you're like, man, what an asshole. What kind of friend is he? But the more you get to know about those two relationships, you kind of question that impression. It's like, Tsukumo can't be a bad guy. He can't be a con. You see their struggles together, and there's something there. And the way the friendship was portrayed, it was told in a series of flashbacks. We're kind of brought into the story in a very non-linear fashion, and the way everything was pieced together, it was wonderful. So yeah, it's definitely a favorite and a recommendation to watch if you ever have the chance or opportunity to see it. And yeah, those are my thoughts on $1 Million Man. What did you guys think? What kind of questions you guys have? Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And by all means, please support Asian Films on Patreon. It definitely helps the channel a lot. And by all means, please join our Discord server so you can chat with more fans about Asian cinema. The link is in the description section below. And yeah, that's about it for me, guys. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And also, thank you so much for my patrons who contributed so that way I was able to watch this movie. You'll find the names after this message. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see y'all again in the next video. Take it easy.